Hey everybody, it's me, Tom, again. This is the same day as that last video. Anyways, I got my other mortises cut out. I did pretty good on them. Very minimal amount of sanding I had to do. I've got one joint right here that I've got a little air gap right there, but there's nothing I can do about it now. But I think my rockers are down good and tight, up and down. And so I have put both my rockers back in the chair. You know, just in there as good as I can get them in. And I have loosened my chair up from the table. And I did that to make sure that right now I'm going to check and see if the rockers are in line with each other. And I want the chair to be in its natural position, you know, not twisted out of shape. I don't think I had it twisted out of shape, but I might have. That reminds me, I was watching that last video and I could see while I was sawing that everything was moving here. And so it's one of my pet peeves when I watch videos of people are working at their vise or something and the vise is moving all over the place. I just don't understand that, why people don't have their stuff clamped down better or better benches. But this is a temporary rig here, and I know there's a little bit of flex in the chair, but I just noticed that. So anyways, I put these rockers in and I got them about a half an inch in from the front here, right on the bottom. And it's just eyeball. I just eyeballed them. And then, well, you're going to say, well, how do you check to see if these rockers are in line with each other? You can't sight across them because they're not. You just can't, because they're in a curve. So what you do, there's two different methods of doing it. And the first method that I was taught is you get a frame, something like this, with two boards right here that are the same thickness. And then when you take this, and you have to set this down on a surface that you know is flat in a plane. And I could do that. I could get my drill press table off of there and set this on it. And then what I would do is I'd take my whole chair and set it onto there, making sure, you know, that the boards, you know, were lined up. Like I would line these two up right here. You know, I would line them right up with these front of these posts. You know, you can't have the thing twisted. That don't work. And then you look and you would check and see that you want it to touch in all four places. Now, I have come to the idea that you could take your winding sticks and put them on your chair. And I'm lining these up right here, right with lining this up with the front of this, these posts here. And then I'm going to put this one on back here and hope it doesn't slide off. It's sliding off. Woo! All right. Well, I'm going to have to do something about that. I guess I'll crawl out of here. I'm going to put this clamp right here in line with the back of this post. That's good enough. So I'm going to put this on here right there. Okay, those are acting like winding sticks on there. And I'm going to get right here and sight across them. And they should be just like winding sticks. You want them to match up perfect. And in fact, these are not. Right here, this one, when I sight across here, this one here, I can see a little bit right here on this one. So that tells me that this spot needs to go up and this spot needs to go down. And it's just a teensy little bit. But the way you fix that, especially if it's just a very small amount, the way you fix this, the way these rockers are designed, if I move this rocker here forward, it's going to go down. No, it's going to go up. It's going to go up if I push it forward, so I need to push this rocker back to make it go down. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a little teeny mark right here just so I can tell how much it moves. And I'm going to move this rocker back just a little bit. Try not to lose that. Okay, both my marks moved. I just moved it about not even an 1/8 of an inch, I don't think. That means I should have to realign this a little bit. It seems pretty good still. So now I'm going to sight again. All right. That looks like it made it worse. I don't understand that. So we'll try again. Move it back a little bit more. Should have to move this thing a little bit. Right there. All right. That looks perfect. And so it's fairly, to the common viewer, it's fairly imperceptible that these fronts changed. And I could even shave a little bit off of this one over here to match it up here. So I'm now satisfied. Do some more crawling. I'm satisfied that those rockers are in line with each other. So I'll take these off. Get rid of this stuff. So now that you got the rockers in line with each other, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my sharp pencil and I'm going to go around and I'm going to mark all these. I'm going to put just a little mark, front and back. And I'll do the same thing on that one. You don't have to watch me do it all. But then when I pull this out of here, let's see. Well, I'm going to go ahead and mark this one because I want to get it out too. I didn't get all the proper props ready. So I'm going to take this one out. So I've got little marks on those right there and there and there. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do with these rockers now is I'm going to measure in 1/2 of an inch from this inside mark, 1/2 inch, and I'm going to measure in 1/2 inch here. And I'm going to mark from those two marks. I transferred them around to the edge of the board, to the edge right there. I've got my marks now right there, and there. 1/2 inch from these marks. And then I'm going to draw that line on there. And you could just use the rocker here, or you can use the pattern board. And it's not very much wood, but I'm going to cut that out. Remember I told you didn't have to do anything in this area when you were smoothing up your rocker. I'm going to cut that out, get that radius closer to the leg. I'm going to do that on both rockers. Okay? And you know, I've got my end mark right there. That's going to get sawed out, but I've still got my mark on the bottom. And after you get that sawed out, you can go around your rockers and, you know, dub off all these edges. I don't know what you call it. Just, you know, round them off a little teeny bit so they're not sharp. You want to do that all the way around except right where these legs go. And you want to keep those corners crisp. You don't want any places where you can see through here. So you got to keep those areas crisp. And if you want to give your thing a little bit of a sand, you know, you don't want to make these thinner, but you're going to sweeten up those rockers for their final look, because pretty soon is going to be the step to glue them in. Oh, and another thing I'm going to do with these rockers while I've got them out is right in the areas where between these two marks that I've made for each leg, I'm going to take this little rasp that's got a rounded side on it, and I'm actually going to rasp that out a little bit. I'm going to relieve it in the middle, not at the edges, but in the middle. I'm trying to make that less surface area to bind up or hit something. I want them to go together tight. And that's one way you can make that happen more, is get the middle of that out. Got to be careful, but I always relieve some out of the middle there. Okay, another thing right now that you do, well, you get rid of any excess lines, you know, that you've got still showing. And, you know, your pencil eraser will do it. Your sandpaper will do it pretty good too. You don't want to round off these crisp corners very much, but you can get those pencil lines out of there. It's a lot easier to do it now before you put your rocker in. Once you put your rocker in, you know, your rocker's in the way of trying to get them off. So you want to get all your pencil marks that are still left off of there. All right. Now, another thing that you do now before you put your rockers back in is I say what you do, it's what I do. It's what I do. But I whittle these ends off. You know, you come down here, I don't know, 3/8 of an inch, start making a radius. Same thing on this side. And I generally always end up with I leave a little teeny flat spot on here just so I know that I'm still full depth, or I got a measurement from my original rocker there. Anyways, I just sort of round that off like that. Something like that. Now we are going to drill a hole through there eventually. After we get the rockers all in, we're going to peg them in. But every one of these needs that job done to it before we glue it, before we glue the rockers in. Okay, what else is there? Got to do all that stuff. Got to clean up your rockers. Clean up these areas. Oh yeah. Another thing right at this stage of the game is if you're making this chair for the very first time, or you're trying to design a new chair, when you know, if we had these rockers back in there and we set the chair up, you know, on a natural place where it would normally be sitting, you could sort of tell how the rocker is going to set in its natural state. Now we don't have the arms on and we don't have the seat on. So you would have to, if you were going to do that at this point, you know, make some kind of determination. Is this chair setting right in a just natural position? You would probably want to put a little bit of weight on your chair that mimics what the seat would do with the balance of the chair. And you would probably want to somehow put some boards of some sort where the arms would be, so that you would get some idea, because those arms, they're big old 1-inch thick oak. You know, they've got weight to them, and they're going to they might affect how that chair is going to sit. Now I am confident, because I've made this chair before, that this chair has been made, I don't know what the word to use, but it was made to my satisfaction, that I know what it's going to sit like and it's going to be okay. But and if you're copying this pretty much exactly how I'm doing it, you're probably going to be okay too. Now, you could decide that maybe you want your chair to be more upright when it's sitting there, or you might want it to be leaning more back. Well, now is the time to change that. If you don't like the way it's just sitting by itself, you can change it, and you can change it by changing the depth of these mortises. If you say you wanted your chair to set lower, or set back more, lean back more, you could make this mortise deeper, or you could change where this line is in these rockers. You could change the line and make the rocker thinner back here, and redo the rockers and make that rocker go down in further. That would make your chair sit back more. If you wanted your chair to sit more forward, you could take some off of this end of the rocker. Now if you take some off this end, you got to put another straight edge on there and straighten it up with this one, if you want it to hit exactly in this straight line here. So it's a time when you have an opportunity to adjust the way the chair just sets. So anyways, I'm thinking I'm telling you everything. And you know, this sawing these things out is tedious. It didn't take me too long. I got more used to it. I kind of got off the line on this one right here. I don't know why, but I did. And it's just the way it is. Could have been a little better, but it's not. But I'm going to live with it. Anyways, I'm going to try to upload these 2 videos this evening. And then I'm going to be off for a couple days. I got to go up to Marshall and check in there. But I'll be back Saturday or Sunday and be I might get my rockers glued in today, and then we're going to be onto those pegs. Got to put the pegs in. We got to make the pegs and put the pegs in, and then we're going to be done with the rockers. Then we get to put the arms in. All right. So I'm still thankful. The sun's been poking out a little bit, and I think not going to be hardly any more rain. According, with this Hurricane Ida. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you another day. I'm crawling up. I'm going to turn the camera off. I'm going to get it off. All right, bye.